In the spring of 1979, Harrisburg found itself in the midst of a national crisis. A pump failure kicked off a chain of events at 3 Mile Island that would ignite worldwide debate over the safety of nuclear power. WHP played a major role in providing information, becoming a news-gathering hub for networks around the world.
The whole station was actually descended upon by the rest of the world. They used our station as kind of a feed point. The people that wanted information on 3 Mile Island basically came to the local television station. So you had crews from all over the world that were coming here and then kind of taking their turn sending out information to the other stations, video and audio. How we did things here is we had basically a patch panel like you used to see on the telephones, and that patch panel with that patch panel we could feed other sources into that one dedicated line that was going to New York. And one of my responsibilities was to be kind of the gatekeeper for that line. So I had everybody clamoring, coming up to me saying, okay, we need it next, we have to be on the air for CBS Evening News. As the days went on, we started learning more and more things, and more people came to the studio, and we used our attic area as editing bays for all kinds of different groups from all over the world.
Well, the civil defense came in under the emergency broadcast system and commandeered the radio station. And while they were here, they gave us little pen, like radiometers or something, that we could wear in our pockets that would reflect how much radiation we received.
And this is one of those pens. You carried it with you all day, and when you needed to check your dose, you plugged it into a charger, looked through the small lens to see what the meter was reading. This is the actual pen carried by our photographer, John Learsoff, as he went about TMI shooting video in and out of the power plant.
And I don't recall that anybody ever got a bad reading on those things, but there was some comfort in carrying it around and knowing that, you'd at least be able to measure it at some point.
Until this time, America had never witnessed a nuclear accident on this scale.
It was not known for some time that the valve stuck open. Large amounts of water were discharged to the reactor building, and the core essentially was uncovered for a period of time. Because of the tremendous amount of heat that is generated by the core, and the core being uncovered, the core itself degraded and was severely damaged.
To make matters worse, TMI engineers had to contend with not just a skeptical public, but also a hydrogen bubble that officials worried could trigger an explosion. Suddenly, the average citizen was getting an involuntary crash course in nuclear energy, and the learning curve was high.
We didn't understand even how a nuclear power plant worked. I remember doing a soundbite with an engineer down there, and we did it like 3 or 4 times. Like we did it, and I'd say, no, you gotta be simpler, and we'd do it again.
But many in the public were still frustrated. Bewildered by unfolding calamity, Med-Ed was slow to release information and claimed the situation was under control, but the public wasn't buying it.
There is no more danger today than there will be a week from now or a week ago. In other words, it's not affecting anybody off-site at all.
We're scared of what's going to happen. We're going to get out of here for a while till we find out that it's safe to come back.
What, are you evacuating, in other words?
Yeah, I have a little 5-month-old baby and I'm getting out of here.
I have my bags packed. I have to be in Reading tomorrow. I took my long concert black wear and everything because I don't think they know that much about what the potential danger is. So if we do have to leave, they haven't told us how long we may have to be away. So I thought I'd best be prepared.
President Jimmy Carter, who had a background in nuclear energy, visited the site in an effort to calm a worried nation. He appointed Harold Denton, a nuclear engineer from the NRC, as his personal assistant to handle the crisis. Denton became a trusted figure at the TMI containment effort. He provided transparency, even when it meant more public outcry.
And he was like the spokesperson, and he was the first guy who really was a good communicator and could explain what was going on, and I think put a lot of people at ease.
And I think it's a little worse than what they really say it is. But you believe that if he says it's okay, it will be okay?
I think so.
On the ground, there was a heated debate over the volatility of that hydrogen bubble. Luckily, the combination of the reactor containment facility and the absence of oxygen kept the bubble from igniting. Slowly, Med-Ed and NRC engineers reduced pressure within the reactor, which stabilized the situation. And by 1980, the cleanup effort finally began. The effects were long-lasting. TMI dominated news coverage all throughout the 1980s, and the cleanup would continue until 1993, a full 14 years after the accident. The site no longer generates power, and after the accident at TMI, public confidence in nuclear power plummeted. The next nuclear power plant wasn't even built until 2012.
Not all impacts from TMI were negative. The NRC used this incident as a way to make nuclear power safer. Many safety protocols and training were implemented at nuclear power plants across the nation and the world. It should be noted that credit is due to all the engineers who worked tirelessly around the clock to avoid what could have been a Chernobyl or Fukushima-scale disaster.
Al Shade, country singer and songwriter and longtime resident of Central PA, wrote a song about his feelings concerning TMI.
I wrote it on a Thursday after it happened. And I told my wife, go do your shopping, I'm going to write the song today. So I wrote all the song from some of the information I got from the newspaper and TV, and 2 hours later when she come back, I said I have it all together but a couple of words. And when I read the whole thing to her, she said, may Jesus see us through.
So Mom and Dad were going down to Nashville to record this song. And Mom comes up to me, I'm living at home. She comes up and said, here's a red carpet bag full of important papers if you have to evacuate. And I went, what? Evacuate? Oh, then I became a little nervous. I was a little scared then because they had gone down, and I still can see that red carpet bag sitting on the floor with all the important papers in case, I had to evacuate.
The idea of meltdown was not a happy thought. It did turn out all right, and they learned a lot of things, but could happen all over again.
We'll end our piece with his prophetic words.
Standing in the shadows of TMI, 500,000 people feared the worst. Massive concrete walls 4 feet thick, could it contain the burst of the mighty power? Radiation leak, meltdown, it sure looked bleak. But remaining calm and cool, President Carter, Governor Thornburg, Harold Denton, scientists by the score assured us, in time all would turn out well. Should the bubble burst, may the devil be cursed, was the cry throughout all this land. Otter County was made by the hand of God, but the devil made 3 Mile Island. Otter County was made by the hand of God, but the devil made 3 Mile